Good morning, folks. Today's philosophy is brought to you by the wonderful Elizabeth Cady Stanton. When she was asked about the Declaration of Independence, she said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal." Well, we got a flat tyre, which was a pain in the arse because we had to change it. It took a while, it was difficult and awkward, but we had a decent view when we were doing it. This is Johnstown Castle in Wexford, and before you get too excited, it's not as old as, it's not as old as what I wish it was. This one was built in the 16th century, 16th century, so it's not medieval, and it falls in the category of Gothic revival. So basically they looked back at Gothic cathedrals and castles and thought, well, let's just do something architecturally similar to that. And an interesting fact is that in 1649, Oliver Cromwell stayed here just before the sacking of Wexford. You remember Oliver Cromwell? He was the one who fought on behalf of the parliamentarians in the English Civil War and ended up becoming Lord Protector of the Commonwealth. Oh, Enniscorthy Castle. It's a Norman castle. You can tell that it's Norman, built in the 1190s. You can tell that it's Norman because of its general shape. It bears a resemblance to the keep in the Tower of London, and also the keep at Dover. It was at one stage in 1649 like Johnstown Castle down the road, 30 k's away. It was Cromwellian, occupied by the Cromwellians as they tried to put down revolts in Ireland. Good old Enniscorthy here. It was also used as a prison during the 1798 Irish revolt. And during the 1916 uprising, Irish volunteers maintained the building and occupied it. She's a nice one. So, Enniscorthy Castle, this is the dungeon or oubliette. An oubliette, we saw a diagram of one of these the other day at Blarney Castle. It's like a big dome with a hole in the top, and they throw people down in there. It's impossible to climb out of. And we're standing in the one this one was built in the 15th century though, this oubliette, although the building's a lot older than that. And it was built at a time when Elizabeth I had commandeered all the property in the area. And this etching is apparently a prisoner who carved that etching of himself in there. That's a sword. She puts the lotion on her skin or she gets the hose again. Enniscorthy Cathedral. Well, also known as St. Aidan's. St. Aidan, he died in 696, I think. And it's dedicated to him. It's quite a building. It's a nice church on the outside. The inside is not what you'd expect. I mean, some of the walls have been plastered over with white, so you don't see the stonework.
Just fallen over.
Yeah.
Fallen off the sides and over it went.
So should we not be standing underneath this?
Amazing.
Kindlestown Castle, late Middle Ages probably. I think late 1200s, early 1300s. Most of the construction had taken place. There's not a great deal of historical significance in as far as the bigger picture, but many noble people have owned the building over the years, and it's completely dilapidated now, but it was primarily used as a meeting hall more than anything else over the last couple of hundred years until it fell into a state of disrepair. Would be a great spot to stay the night. This is a good chance to see, when we talk about how thick the walls are on some of these things, sometimes we can't really visualise it, but this is at least 6 foot wide. The wall's 6 foot wide. If I stand up on it, it's more than my arm span. It may even be 7 feet wide. It's pretty strong. Wonder what happened on this day in history.
This day, 16th of December, 1773, in what is known as the Boston Tea Party, American colonists disguised as Mohawk Indians threw 342 chests of tea belonging to the British East India Company into the Boston Harbour, which protests the tax on tea. On this day, the 16th of December, 1775, Jane Austen was born in Stephenstown, England.
And as famous as she was, she only ever wrote 6 novels.
What a woman.